Sure can see you.
So we are in the editor, and I want to go over an encounter I had, and this is actually the individual right here. First, I want to give an expression of what's on the film, and this is what I see, and it's pretty easily seen if you take the time. A lot of people don't seem to want to take the time, but these things are very important because what we're doing is we're documenting an aspect of reality that you're not going to really get a good look at very often. And you'll want to take a real hard look at what is in this footage in particular because this was an actual eyeball to eyeball. That creature is staring at me right here inside. Here's the eyes, right? This is the bridge of the nose, and you can see this creature, right? And in the mouth. It was starting to smile at me, and it freaked me out. Okay? I jumped and I ran. This is like right before I jumped and like I freaked out and lost it. But anyway, these are cypress trees and they're immense. Now, the full image is zoomed out, and I'm going to look for them, and we're going to break down a few images of this creature and this encounter, where I literally saw this creature. I was looking here, and underneath the cypress tree was something black, and I think it was another one of these creatures, and it was really really dark and blurry looking, and then over here it was in the sunlight a little more, and it was looking green, and I couldn't understand it. And then all of a sudden I saw like a ball, and I saw this, and it looked like a pair of glasses and a blurry something, and then all of a sudden it all came into focus. Now the camera is behind this bush a little bit, but I had started to already kind of freak out a little bit and wasn't paying attention to the camera anymore because my view was from up here, right? So I was looking down at this thing from about 25 feet away. So my view was probably from right about here. Now this thing was on the ground, and its head appeared to be at least 2 to 3 times the size of mine. Um, Something moved under here, and when I saw this thing, it literally appeared to unwind, turn its like upper torso, look at me as if it was shielding something underneath these cypress trees. So what they're doing is, you can see this fold here, right? See this like arch? This is cypress tree, but it's important to note that in this entire area, the ground has been torn up, as if your front yard, and you can go out and with a shovel tear out a piece of sod. They're tearing the carpet up and then using the carpet itself and moving it and putting it in between the cypress trees and covering themselves up with the ground brush carpet as if it was a blanket. This is what I witnessed. This creature came out from under it, and it was entirely a frightening experience. So let's look at a few frames that I picked up from this encounter. Alrighty, guys, we're in the editor and we're taking a look at these Sasquatch that I encountered in the creek bed by myself. This guy, I think, was responsible for putting the apple there. Whether it was for me or a trap for hogs or for me, I don't know. I just know the encounter happened, and this is what I saw. Now you can see the eye shine coming out of here. Now what does that mean? It means this creature has nocturnal eyes. Anytime you see something in the daytime that has this milky white pupil, you have to understand that that is light reflecting off the back of that eyeball, off of that lens back there, and it's literally reflecting light from the diffused forest canopy light right back at me. And so we can see it. We're picking it up. You see the ball there and the ball there. This is the left eye of the creature, and here's the right eye. You can see the nose right here. But if we go back a frame and we look, you can see that this creature, as I stated, was starting to smile. And the mouth goes all the way across. You can see this lip right here. This is the mouth, man. This is a very large creature, actually. This is a full-grown cypress tree. In fact, this particular cypress tree is dead, and this is the one that they dug under. He was right in between these two cypress trees, and he was like kind of wrapped around it. I don't know if he was concealing other ones, but I know this. They were dead silent, save the tiny, heavy movements of cracking in the light brush that was in front of me. But you can plainly see this creature right here. It's the bottom of the nose. So here's the nose, the bridge, and you've got that, like, you can see the nostrils and then the mouth and the eyes. Head's up in here. Now, is there anything with it? It could be, because we're in this area and we know there's several. There's a group of them, right? So again, you can see where the mouth is, and here's the nose, and you can see that eye shine. Now, if we move frames and we go forward, he's shifted position. You can still see he's kind of in the same position, but not. And that's because at the time I was shooting these frames, the creature had started moving, and so I was literally in the process of getting ready to jump and didn't even know that was going to happen, right? It almost looks like there's that little tiny hand over his mouth. Like, is this a female? You can see there's movement right here, and this could be a thumb, and then the fingers, and it looks like maybe a little arm. So is this a mother, a female with an infant? We don't know. We just know that does appear to be a small hand on this thing's face. You know what I mean? More will be revealed. My incursions into this area, have really brought incredible footage. So, but we'll definitely see with future expeditions. You can plainly see this creature, and here you can see where it's literally shifted positions, and it's starting to, I guess maybe it was moving at the same time I was moving, so we're getting some blur, but you can make out where its lips are pursed. And you can see the nose is in a little bit different position as well. And then we move into the final frame, and we get a very clear shot as I'm jumping away of this creature's eyes. And like I said, looked like a green blob wearing wraparound sunglasses. That's what it looks like. Except that for about 2 seconds, right before my body reacted to the fact that this creature was there, by jumping over bushes and then starting to run, and then I realized, oh my God, I'm panicking. But right when I did that, this creature started to smile. That thing smiled at me. And that really was the most disturbing aspect of the entire encounter. We're in the editor, and we're taking a look at critical piece of footage in our data here. We got the coned head, and you can see this face. This guy's here, the brow, and it's got some bush and stuff in front of it. But this is really, really cool. It ends up being some really good footage. We got a couple of monkeys. We got one there. We're going to take a look at him for a second, and we got him. Hey, stick around. It's going to be a good episode of the Bigfoot Researcher's Journal, man. Check this guy out. How about that? Oof. Sasquatch watching us pull its hair off the fence it likes to jump. Alrighty, we're in the editor, and we're taking a look at a piece of footage that really is astounding, because when we look at what's going on, I mean, this is like crazy. Look at this apex. Look at this individual. He's got some bush in his face, but you can see the brow, the bridge of the nose, all of it. There's a couple of them hanging out with him right next to him. And we're going to see him better. But look at this. Look at this. This is another one of these white skin guys. It's glaring off of it, man. It's nuts. But here's another one right next to him. You can plainly see it. Like, we're on these guys, right? This is crazy. Look at this. You get a couple frames of him, and then we got Homeboy coming up for a look right next to the tree there. There's the third frame of him. Now Homeboy's up, and he's over here. We'll take a look at him. And it's really incredible, man, what's going on here. There was nothing there a minute ago, I mean, we go back in the footage and we look, and before this, here's the tree. That's the tree right there. Now you can see there's some guys here, man. They're here. So we pulled the hair off the fence. Me and Mikey were getting ready to pull hair off the fence, which I've already shown confirms to the hair we found that nobody can identify in 2 different countries. I guess they're looking at our hair in Mexico and have been for a couple of years and saying they don't know what it is either. In the end, there's nothing there. And yet, as we move forward, here's this apex coming up. And we've got, a hominoid. That's what he is. We move forward, and next to him, we got that. There's the tree. He's right here. There he is. You can see the bridge of his nose. This guy's right next to him, and this guy's right next to him. And let's take a look at this guy by the tree, though. We're going to get through this little monkey shot there, which is incredible. But we want to see this guy. And the frames that come from him are incredible. Look at this. Watch this, guys. Look at that frame. He has now come up from diagonal, where the head was this way in the beginning, to now perfectly horizontal. He's stood up. Essentially, he's gotten off the ground, and now he's taking a look at us. You can see that nocturnal eye. This guy sees good at night. There's no doubt about it. It's about a 100-yard shot. Mike's standing there. We're looking at air on the fence. And we got a couple of them in this area we've shown you staring at us. And I think this one adds a lot of credibility to the ones that are being shown here, especially that other one with the gray skin on the other end. I mean, you can plainly see that thing. It's clear, right? Well, guess what? He's got buddies. Welcome to hidden reality. They're out there watching you. They blend in, and you don't even know they're there. Alrighty. So we're in the editor, and we're taking a look at a piece of footage. I got Mikey V here with me. You can see him there. And there's a couple things, first of all. There's an individual over in here. We're dealing with hominoids that have white skin, right? So this is going to be like new for everybody, right? We're documenting white-skinned individuals, and the individual that is here, we're going to break that down in a separate video, because while I was doing that, there's another date palm behind this one, and you can see it appear right here. There's somebody over there, and it's quite shocking, actually, what's going on, and it appears to be a couple of them. But we can see there's, a bunch of bush and blob in the way. We really can't get that good of a look. And it's hanging from this particular date palm in the foreground, right? But now we can see there's nothing there, man. You can see it. Well, there's some kind of a big bulge over here, and then gray skin right here with the right shape and, all that kind of stuff. But, it's just not clear enough, right? We can see this thing standing there, peeking out. Huge bulging shoulder. We got this going on. So I noticed that. I started paying attention to what was going on over here. And that kind of was startling initially, but there's something that comes up and takes a look at us right here. So I want to advance forward and show you guys what comes up. Now here's the gray guy. Oh, I'm zoomed in, that's right. Here's the gray guy over here. He's sitting here. This is interesting because you can see the orbit and the bone structure of the cheek is so pronounced it looks square. It's the same thing on the other side. You can see it coming out over here. These things have tremendous bone structure, and the nose is right here. You can see a little split between the brows. Here's the fuzz up here on the top of the pointy head. And but anyway, the interesting part is here's the donut. That's the ear. You see that? That's what I always see that in the bush where we research. In our films, I get these donuts in this weird square structure. For years, I'm going, I don't know what this is, but there's a nose attached to it. This is what it is. That's an ear hole, or that's the ear for sure. But this is incredible, right? They're just sitting all around this area, and it's really cool because as we advance, the footage of him is really interesting. If we just take a look at it, we can see this guy. I'll go 600% on this so we can get in, but I'm going to expand the timeline too. We're going to take a look at him real quick, and then we'll move on. But just looking at it, trying to do these breakdowns, it's interesting to me that it gets blurry when I actually hit it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it play, and you can see it. Now, the footage is kind of wavy of this guy and distorted because I'm also walking and it's trying to stabilize. But if you look at this frame, he's slightly turned his head, and you can now see the shadow from the sun, the head, and you get this, you see what's going on here. This is a white-skinned hominoid sitting in these bushes. It's incredible. Moving the frames forward, you can still see the ear. It's still in position regardless of the wind, which, by the way, is howling in real time. He's turning sideways. We get a little bit of the hair above the ear now. You can see the edge of the skull right here. Perfectly. Just the very point of it. This is him. White skin, little hair hanging down off of his head. There's the eyes right there, and there's the nose. And we've got that bearded lower half here. What appears to be bearded anyway, because it's so dark. So But anyway, it's just a really interesting look. He's sitting right in there, white skin hominoid. Now he's looking towards us a little bit. Guys, we are in the editor, and we're taking a look at a piece of footage that I shot about a month ago, I think, about 3 weeks ago. That's Richard Farabee right there. And we're going to be looking back here. They're all behind us here. But in particular, there's one here. It's pretty big and it's scary. They're behind this tree right here. There's one back in here. You can kind of see how the eyes pop a little bit back in there. It's a real small one. And then there's him. Now this thing is huge, and you can see the bridge of his nose and both the holes in the nose here, the nostrils. And it does not appear that this thing has a huge wide nostril on it. But you can see the eyes and then the chin there, and then the whole face is right here. So you got the eye sockets. The nose is really big and very human with forward-facing nostrils. A lot of people see that, and I've seen one with a nose like that myself. But as you move the footage forward, we can see that already, in comparison, the creature's ducked. Here's the nose. We got the eyes right here. But if we go back to this frame, this creature's 12 inches up at least where the eyes are at. We come into these first couple of frames here, and here we've got, this thing is down lower now, and you can see the eyes right here, and then you can see the head comes up. This is one of those really big cone head guys, man, and going through it, here he is. I mean, you can see where the corner of the mouth is, and then one of the nostrils, and we've got it, man. This is one of those spooky looking Casper ones. It's down in there, laying on its belly, and what they do is they go in these places, and you can see right here there's a hole in the bushes, and there's a little palm frond hanging down in front of it. They'll go inside here and dig out a trench, and then they'll lay in it. And when the hogs come wandering in around where, the backside of where Richard is, if they pass anywhere close to this tree line, or they're in, and sometimes they'll literally bring stuff over there for them to eat. We found all kinds of stuff laying in these areas and down inside these bushes. And it's very active in there, man. You can see it. It's all disturbed. Richard actually crawled inside one of these heads, and it was amazed that, there's an interconnected tunnel system in there where they can move about the research area without ever having to come out of here, just crawling on their hands. It's interesting, man. But you can see there's a difference between this frame and where this thing's eyes are at, and in this frame. It's totally different. You know what I mean? It's two different places. This thing has moved. And you can see it's got that, I'm wearing a sheet on my head kind of ghost look, Casper look, right? Here you can see again, there's a little bit of that mouth pursed. And we are milling around the team. I've got Jimmy Barr, Richard F. here, Mike V's with me, and then me, right? So this whole time, this thing is turning in its head and looking at team members. You can see he's looking right at me in this one. Looks like a guy with big glasses in there. The oculuses are so big on this thing. Look at that. And then when you come here, you can see this in here, he appears to be looking this way. Do you know who's over there? Mikey V. Mikey V's standing right next to, so he's like, he was looking at Mike. And here he is down here, but look at this. This is really cool. We can see him looking that way. He's probably looking at Mike. And then all of a sudden, I noticed this up top. Look at this. We got one up in here, standing up above the one that's in the hole there. We've got the guy behind Richard right here, and then we've got the guy standing up above him, which is a trip, man. You can plainly see that. He's got the mouth line right there. This is the nose, and there's a glare coming off of it, and his other eye's got some bush and stuff in front of it, possibly hair. And then here's the other eye right here. It's uncovered, and he's watching us. You can see that face in there. What is all that? It's ground garbage, man. And bushes and hair. It's nasty stuff, That's what they do, man. They dig holes and they lay in the bushes.